Some of us dream of giving up the rat race and living a life on the open ocean. Then again, some of us actually do it. Today I've travelled to Zyia Island on the inland sea of Japan to meet a man who's been living the cruising lifestyle with his family on board this incredible multi-hull yacht. Hey Daniel.
Hey Bryce.
Good to see you, mate.
Yeah, good to see you too.
And here's your boat.
Yeah, she's twin-masted Warram, 55 foot. She's named Tiare, which is Polynesian for flower.
What an absolute beauty she is.
Yeah, thank you.
How long have you had her now?
Coming up for 6 years now. Yeah, so we've done a few miles in already, and we're just settling here in Zyia, Japan for a few years while our youngest child finishes high school.
How did you end up here in Japan?
Well, we'd sort of sailed Southeast Asia for a number of years, and it was really time to move on. And my wife being Japanese and the kids being, you know, part Japanese or half Japanese as well, it was too good an opportunity to miss out to come up here.
This looks like an exceptional place that you've actually found a mooring as well.
It is. We're very lucky here. The council has basically said if you can find a bare bit of sea bottom, it's yours to put your boat.
Well, I'm really excited to see it.
Yeah, okay. Let's go over.
Let's go. These islands here, they're just so lovely, aren't they? What an incredible location.
I just feel so lucky to be here, really. It's just an amazing cruising grounds, really. There's just so many islands, so many little places you can pull in for an overnight stop.
And Japan's not really a place which you associate with cruising, is it?
No, it's not at all. It's really off the charts when it comes to cruising destinations. It's just not there for most people, and it's such a shame because it's relatively easy to get to, and it's just so well suited for cruising.
Yeah.
Righto, so as you come up, you want to use this where you're sitting as the first step, and then just the ladder there is the second and third steps. Welcome aboard.
Thank you very much. There's actually a tremendous amount of deck space here, isn't there?
There is. This is a James Warram design, so it's very unusual.
Having all of this extra room must make living aboard so much easier.
Yeah, it is. For moving around when there's sail handling and that, it's so much easier. And when you're at anchor, you've got all this enormous flat space, and we've got big sunshades that cover the whole boat. So when it's hot, we've got a lot of shade.
And when you're cruising on this boat with your family, you're a family of 5. It's a lot of people to be living on one boat.
It's a big boat, so we've each got our own cabins, our own space. You know, we've got a communal area in the middle, which we can all get together. But if we're sort of sick of each other, or especially when the young kids were a bit younger, they wanted a space on their own, they've got that available to them.
So how long have you actually been living aboard this vessel?
5 years, really. And the last year and a half, just over a year and a half, we've actually had the boat, but we've also rented where we've been. So we've had a small rental property as well as the boat, which has worked out well. We've used the boat for an income.
Well, I'm so excited to see this boat. Can we get a tour?
Oh, please do.
All right.
Okay.
This is a super comfy lounge area, isn't it?
It's a big area, and one of the enormous advantages of a cat, you do get big cockpits. You know, it's just a fantastic area. It's safe in the seaway. You've got visibility all around.
What's the big difference between how this cat is designed and other multi-hulls?
We're a bit different. We've got our cockpit in the centre, so we're more towards the front of the boat for the cockpit, whereas most cats would have it at the back of the cockpit.
And I suppose one of the other advantages to this kind of setup is whoever's on watch, it's pretty easy to have drinks passed through to you, eh?
Well, exactly. You know, you're right there, and it's time for a soup or bread or coffee. It's just right there. Thank you very much. Yeah, it's really good, and it is useful, and it's nice to have a closed-in area there because it does get rough. We do get waves over the top sometimes, so this area can get a bit damp. So we can just close the windows down, and we're fine in the back there. Anyway, I'll give you a quick rundown of the boat and the design features that really appeal to me.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Well, the obvious thing straight away is that it's got 2 masts. For a catamaran, most catamarans are a single mast, especially at this size. And having 2 masts really do 2 things. They bring the centre of gravity lower, which gives it a more stable platform. The other big thing is that it's not bolted or glassed together as a single double hull unit. It's actually roped together.
A couple of solar panels up the back there?
Yeah, a couple of solar panels, way too small for what I need. They're okay for a basic boat, which was a simple fridge in the kitchen and maybe just a few 12-volt outlets for people to charge things.
Gotcha. How much solar do you have on there at the moment?
160 watts. Yeah, so one of the great things about this little system anyway is that we can tilt it to follow the sun around during the day.
Great.
So we do get maximum amps for a big portion of the day anyway. So this is our access from the water up to the boat, and especially when we've beached the boat, we just walk up and down. Down here it goes all the way down. It's simple access. It's also our shower. You know, cruising around the Southeast Asia, it's always hot. The water's 30 degrees plus. Yeah, have a look down there.
Straight down like that.
Yep.
2 days ago I was dancing with snow monkeys and this water is really warm.
Yeah, it's about 18 degrees at the moment.
That's crazy.
It is, and it's also the same temperature in the cabins as well. So up until probably the new year, it's actually fairly pleasant on the boat because the cabins are the same temperature as the water. We should go and have a look at a cabin next, perhaps.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, so this is how you get downstairs. For this, we're just going to put our right hand there, left foot down here, step down.
All right. This is much, much larger than I was expecting.
It is, yeah. It's for a sailing boat. This is actually, it's quite a large cabin. It's a full-size double berth. These two cabins share a bathroom. Actually, it has a toilet. And you can have a shower in here as well. But other than that, it's just, this is where you keep your clothes and go to sleep, really.
So living down here, you've got 12-volt lights. You've got a window. Do these windows open?
No, they're not. They're just port lights. They don't open. Ventilation comes from the big hatch here. The one above was over the bed there. Okay, let's go and look in the kitchen.
Yes, please.
Just open this up. Oh, welcome to the heart of the boat.
Wow. It is actually surprisingly large in here.
It is. So the kitchen was downstairs, which is fine, but it's when you've got a family and you just want to be in here all the time and have communication that it was just made sense to bring the kitchen upstairs.
You come into the kitchen here, you've got the lounge area which is just through there, and it just sort of all blends together. It's almost like you could call this open plan living, eh?
Yeah, basically, yes, you could. Yeah, it is. It is like that. It does feel like that way too. It's really nice.
So what are the key features that the kitchen has?
So it's very stable. So any kitchen on a monohull wouldn't have a stove top like this. It would be gimbaled and that sort of stuff, and it'd have rails here to stop things flying across. You wouldn't put cups up there and leave them there when you're sailing. So it's quite open and low key as far as a yacht kitchen goes, and that's generally because it's a catamaran.
So you're operating on a simple 12-volt system, but I see you do have AC mains as well.
We do have AC mains coming in, so we can plug into shore. We can also, so we've got a Victron battery charger which takes universal, well, they call it universal voltage from about 96 volts all the way up to 240 or 270 or so we can plug in basically anywhere in the world.
And what about just general living costs on a boat?
Cruising costs can be incredibly cheap. We were doing Southeast Asia with a family of 4 or 5 and a dog for less than 200 New Zealand a week, easily.
Wow.
So, you could live quite nicely on 12 to 15,000 New Zealand a year. Once you've got the solar panels, your batteries in, which are part of your boat purchase price, that's it. There's no power bills. You're living within your means. You're certainly aware of what the environment provides you in terms of water. Rain doesn't cost anything. Solar, it's free. It's just such an easy life.
And moving on to this boat with your family, was that a hard decision to make, sort of taking the kids and giving them this really unusual lifestyle, or was it just something that you knew would be an experience that you couldn't pass up?
Because we've always travelled a lot, we've always travelled with the kids, we've really understood that. A family is not so much where you live, it's how you interact with each other. So a home can be anywhere. It could be an adobe house that's been built and we're living in a tent and nothing, or it could be a suburban house where we've lived, or it could be in our grandparents' house where we've lived, or it could be on a boat where you live. The important part is family is where you are as a family, and that's home. And I think that's been really a real good lesson for all of us, actually, that it's so important that family comes first.
What did this boat actually cost to buy?
It cost us, I think, 210,000 euro, which was a 5-year-old boat at that time.
That's still a tremendous investment though, isn't it?
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. It is, and you need to look after it because it's your investment. Yeah, it's your home, it's your airplane, it's your travel voucher, basically.
Yeah.
It's a floating suitcase.
So the plan now is to stay here in Japan for a while, finish doing up the boat, get the business all going.
All sorted, yep.
And then you'll start cruising again.
So we're probably going to head off towards Hawaii, I think. Across to Hawaii and then across to America and then down to Panama, through the canal, and off the Caribbean, and up through the ICW, and then across to Europe, and yeah.
That sounds like an amazing adventure that you have in front of you. And I really hope that one day you and I get to connect again so that I can see how everything works out.
Look, I'd love to have you over here next year. I think you should come over, do another tour. We'll take you for an overnighter somewhere, and you can really see, we can really experience what cruising in Japan's like.
I would love that. Let's make it happen.
For sure.
When I decided to come here to Japan in the middle of winter, this is the absolute last place that I expected to end up. But coming here, meeting Daniel, hearing the stories of his family's adventures on the water, it really makes me consider the cruising lifestyle. Right now though, I am going to enjoy this beer and watch a Japanese sunset.